Your phone beeps while you're driving and you can't resist the temptation to look. After all, it could be important. You check your message without incident and continue driving. Given the frequency and banality of such occurrence, you might even tell yourself it's perfectly safe to regularly perform this behavior. The increased practice leads to familiarity and habit, and the action becomes a normal part of your driving routine. The lack of bad outcomes can reinforce the rightness of trusting past practices instead of objectively assessing the risk, resulting in a cultural drift in which circumstances classified as not okay slowly become reclassified as okay.
T-minus 21 seconds, and the solid rocket booster engine gimbal now underway. T-minus 15
Diane
seconds.
Vaughan, a sociologist, coined the term normalization of deviance and defines it as the gradual process through which unacceptable practice or standards becomes acceptable.
3, 2,
As the deviant
1.
behavior is repeated without catastrophic results, it becomes the social norm for the organization.
Cleared the tower.
NASA officials continue to allow the space shuttle missions despite a known design flaw with the O-rings in the solid rocket boosters. The problem with the O-rings, bubbles formed during the launch and gases from the solid rock boosters would pass through the bubbles and burn the O-ring. When a damaged O-ring was first observed following the second shuttle mission, NASA managers who were under tremendous time and economic restraints convinced themselves the problem could be fixed without grounding the shuttle fleet. Several more missions flew without any problems from the O-rings, so the rightness of the decision to keep flying was reinforced. Over the years, more cases of O-ring sealing problems were observed in returning boosters, but with each successful flight, the lack of a bad outcome reinforced the notion that it was safe to continue the operations without addressing the issue. Despite the launch of the Challenger on January 28th, the gases burned through the O-rings and ignited the main fuel tank. As Vaughan observed, the fact that no negative consequence resulted from the inaction led to the deviance becoming normalized within the NASA culture.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle in an explosion.
My name is Eddie Stevens, and this is just one example that demonstrates the importance of contrarian leadership.